Good morning. My name is Jackie Murphy. My class will be adult learners at the basic level. So let us now go to the class. Good morning, class. Yesterday, the theme for the week is food. And yesterday we looked at food that you ate for breakfast, food you ate for lunch, and food you ate for dinner. Yesterday we looked at the simple past with ate. We looked at the simple present with will eat. We looked at adverbs of time, such as usually, sometimes, and hardly ever. Today we're going to move to cartons and containers and packages, things that hold food. We'll call the whole thing containers. All of this on the table will be containers. And we'll look at specific containers and the foods that are in them. We'll also look at phrases such as how much and how many and when and how to use that. At the end of the class, toward the end of the class, I'll have you working in pairs to go over the exercise, and for homework there is a handout which I will give you at the end of the class. But first, let's go to these containers and look at what a package is. This is a package. A package. This is a can. You know some of these. This is a bottle. This is a jar. A bag. A carton. A bowl. A pitcher. And a box. I'm now going to give you different items, and you're going to tell me what goes into those containers. For example, soda. What can you put soda in? A bottle? Yes. A can? And a pitcher. What can you put beer in? Same thing. Bottle, can of beer, pitcher of beer. So certain items can go in several types of containers, but not all the time. How about water? Could go in a bottle, in a pitcher, but not really a can. You can't have a can of water. Crackers, in a box or in a package. You could have a package of crackers. But look at something like peanut butter. You can only have a jar of peanut butter. You can't have a can of peanut butter or a pitcher of peanut butter. So certain things, only one type of container, others two, and others more than two, three. So with that in mind, let's look at a new concept today. How much and how many? And when we use that in relation to containers and what's in containers. Let me first explain it. How many? Let's go to how many first. You use how many with things you can count. For example, how many crackers are left in the box? We can count those crackers. How many apples are in the bowl? We can count the apples in the bowl. So we would say how many, and notice are, we're using the A-R-E, the plural of the verb to be. How much? You can't count. So you would have to say how much water is in the bottle. Can't count the water. How much? Can't really count liquids. How much soda is in the can? More or less a liquid. How much ice cream is in the carton? Notice the is. We're using the singular of the verb to be. So with that being said, what would you do if I'm saying it's liquid you can count? What would you do with something like salt? How much salt is in the box? We can't really count the salt, and I'll explain more a little bit about that later. So how much, things you can count, how many, things you can't count. So I have pictures of containers and things in them. And what I want you to do, I want you to split up into pairs, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I want you to, I'll give you 2 handouts for each pair. I want you to do this between you. Ask how much, ask how many, name the container. I'll go around the room and listen, And this should only take you about 7 or 8 minutes, and then we will go over it in class. Aside, I'm not going to take the time for them supposedly to do it. Let's go right to the answers. Back to the class. All right, first pair. How much water is in the bottle? Can't count it. How much beer is in the pitcher? Very good, can't count it. Something different. How many chocolates are in the box? We can count those chocolates. How much milk is in the container? I have on your piece of paper that these are jelly beans in the jar. Can you count them? How many jelly beans in the jar? Correct. How much soda is in the can? Can't count it. These are oranges in the bowl. That's on your paper. How many oranges? We can count those oranges. This is a small picture, but it's a carton of eggs. How many eggs are in the carton? You can count them. Now, I have been speaking English all of my life, and I had a little problem with these last two. So let's see what you have for those. How much or how many beans in the can? Can you count those beans in the can? It's messy, and are you going to count them? Probably not. Can you count them? Yes. So what would you say? How many beans are in the can? Because you can. It's possible to count them. Potato chips. Are you going to go count all the potato chips in the bag? No. But you can. It's possible to count them. So how many potato chips in the bag? Let's go back to the salt. Even though it's not a liquid, you can't count all the salt in here. It's impossible. So how many potato chips in the bag? It might be a big bag, but it still can be counted. But you cannot count how much salt is in the container. Now, let's take how much and how many and take it beyond food, then we'll come back to food. Let's use much and many in other situations. The beach has so much or many sand compared to other beaches. How much? Because sand is like the salt. It's impossible to count that sand. How much or how many people are coming? How many people are coming? You might be having a huge party, but you still can count how many people. You know how much or how many I love you. How much? It's uncountable how much one loves someone else. Finally, there are so much or many times I feel sad. I feel sad many times, but I can count them. So how many times do I feel sad? Let's go back to the food. I said yesterday we looked at simple past, simple future, adverbs of time. Today we went over how much and how many and the cartons, the containers, the boxes, the bags, the bottles. Tomorrow we're going to pretend our classroom is a restaurant and we're going to order different foods from a menu. And we'll look at the verb form would. What would you like? I would like, but that's for tomorrow. Today, don't forget your handout is over there. Pick it up on the way out. It will have to do with today's class, with how much or how many. It was a pleasure to have you in class. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That class is over. For my Coursera group, the lesson I timed it was 10 minutes. Thank you.